Hello and welcome. My name's Super Saiyan and this is your weekly news and pre-order video covering all of the new releases for Forge World and Games Workshop. Firstly, I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of the new subscribers that have subscribed over the past couple of weeks, and a huge thank you to all of you Patreons that continue to support the channel and allow me to get all of the new releases and cover all the unboxings and reviews for them. Let's jump on over to the Warhammer community website, where we'll look at all of the news from the last week. I think last week we had a little look at some of the pre-orders, the Age of Sigmar warbands and the Titans as well. If we just look at that, we had the Adeptus Titanicus Doom of Molech and a load of Civitas Spires set. They were the pre-orders. Also, the day after, on the Sunday, we had the last day of entering into the big survey. Quite important. I would recommend that you spend some time. You can't spend any time now because it's closed, but I would have recommended you spend some time answering the questions that Games Workshop put in the survey. It depends on sort of like your level of engagement into the hobby, how long that survey would take you, because for instance, if you play Warhammer 40,000 and you select yes as an answer, it will then go on to ask you further questions regarding that game type. So if you don't play Age of Sigmar, then you press no, and then the survey time will, it won't take you as long, but it's a useful kind of collection of information from the community on basically how to improve. Right at the end, they give you a couple of open-ended questions that allow you to put in, what's your favourite aspect of the hobby, and also if you could name a couple of things that Games Workshop could improve on, then it gives you a chance to feed that back to Games Workshop. Whether they actually take any notice of that is another thing, but I spent ages on the survey and I really gave them some strong advice and suggestions. On the same day, there was a little bit of a preview for the Slaanesh models. I've looked on the websites today and they've actually put up every single Slaanesh model for pre-order, which is quite odd. It would have been nice if they had staggered those releases out to give everyone a bit of sort of breathing space to maybe get something every week. I think it's a bit too much, especially when they've put on pre-order, the Keeper of Secrets, which is £85, and we'll have a look in a moment. But just to get one of those for the week, and then the next week, and have the codex up there, and then the next week have the other models, in my opinion, would have been a better way to do it. But they've just thrown out all of the pre-orders on day one. But they're all the pictures of the brand new models up for pre-order today, and yeah, they said that from last week. Then there was another little article following a Motley Warband Battletome preview of the Head Knights of Slaanesh, a White Dwarf preview for May. You're getting in May's White Dwarf, which I should hopefully get through the post sometime this week, the Ynnari 40k 8th edition rules update. It says here Index Xenos Ynnari. It says here you get shiny new rules and data sheets for the three aforementioned characters, and I think that the Triumvirate of the Ynnari or Inyad is up for pre-order again today. So if you didn't get those models before, now's your chance. Coming soon from Forge World was the Chaos Warhound Titan. I don't know whether they've put new instructions in there. It would be nice if they have, like if they've completely redesigned this Warhound in CAD and provided the amazing CAD instructions that you get in the newer Titans. That would be awesome. If anyone is going to pick this up, that'd be great if you could share a video or something of the contents to see if they've upgraded the parts or upgraded the instruction manual. But for quite a while this wasn't available. It says here, let's see, if you jumped on the Chaos bandwagon, you need even more firepower than the Havoc Squad or Obliterators, then go for one of these Warhound Titans. the Warhound Titans themselves are, one of my favourite models of Forge World that they produce. So it's great that Chaos players can now get these. It would have been even better if they had created like a, Legion specific or some kind of banner type extra to go in with the kit, following specific Renegade Titan Legions. But still, it's nice that you can now get this Chaos Warhound Titan again from Forge World. You can actually get it now. It was up just recently, I think yesterday. Then there was this rumour engine. Kind of looks like a couple of tails or whips or something like that. Mystery box grand reveal for the winners. Had a little look at this, and they did win quite a few goodies. There's people from all around the world, from Paris to Missouri to Scunthorpe. They won all of these loot boxes kind of things. Pretty cool actually. So some nice merchandise that those winners have gotten their hands on. Painting at Warhammer Fest. A little bit of an article there. Slaanesh new war scrolls. Apocrypha Necromundus and Rosstown, an article there, and then Slaanesh new data sheets. We'll have a little look at them. These Slaanesh models have got crazy rules. I mean, you've got the Keeper of Secrets there with 6 attacks with the Snapping Claws, and it's got 16 wounds. Incredible leadership of 10 as well. So you've got 4 attacks for the Snapping Claws, it looks like, and then 6 with the Witstealer Sword, and very fast, 14 inches. So such a fast model for something that doesn't fly. The Witstealer Sword is pretty amazing too. You subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made by a model that's lost any wounds from the weapon, and it's also got this Sinistrous Hand, so it can regain D3 lost wounds at the end of the fight phase. Instead of making the Keeper of Secrets, you can also create this champion called Shalaxi Hellbane. Quite odd that Shalaxi Hellbane is actually the same size as the Keeper of Secrets, but still it's armed with this Soul Piercer weapon, which is a ridiculous strength ×2 and AP -4, and you get a damage characteristic of 6 instead of D6 if the enemy is a character. Then there's some other models. This Celeste, the Vengeful Allegiance. I think this model is, I say, quite overpriced. It's very pricey. Yes, it's kind of 1.5 models if you want to look at it that way. But yeah, the rules for this thing is just crazy. Very fast at 9 inches, 2+ weapon skill and ballistic skill. Strength is okay, but that's buffed by the axe, so the strength is 7. Toughness 6, 8 wounds, 8 attacks. I mean, seriously, and a 4+ save. And then you're getting the rerolls of 1s to hit and a +1 strength. Very strong character, and I think its price also reflects that. The Herald is just immense when you compare it to other Heralds, but then again, it is a named character. Then you've got the Contorted Epitome, which really helps the psychic tests, and also you can actually ignore mortal wounds on a 2+. It's been quite a while since since we've had any units that could ignore mortal wounds, but there we go. We have this epitome, this Contorted Epitome. Anyway, more on those in a moment when I look at them up for pre-order. And then there was a little article about the Slaanesh lore. It's quite interesting. Talks about the named characters. Shalaxi Hellbane, Peerless Hunter. Favourite prey is the greatest champions of the Dark Gods. Was in many ways created to slay bloodthirsters with contemptuous ease. So you often forget that these Chaos Gods and their sort of minions do fight amongst each other. It's very rare that they all come together and fight against the Imperium of Man. and other sort of races and things. It says here, rivalry is common among the demons of Slaanesh, but those few that abide each other's presence are often assigned as stewards of an ornate mirror of absorption. It's a semi-sentient relic from the Palace of Slaanesh, and absorbs magical energies of the Dark Prince's foes, turning them back with terrifying effectiveness. Pretty good. So very interesting. Let's have a little look. There was a UK Games Expo preview right here. So May, jam-packed with Warhammer previews. Australian fans, the first ever Warhammer preview at the Warhammer Championship store. And then obviously Warhammer Fest, you'll have a Warhammer preview as well. So then there was a Astra Militarum survey, a Tale of Four Warlords, Middle of Earth companies, Battle Companies free downloads, new Warhammer World website. If you go on there, you can look at all the upcoming events. It looks pretty decent actually, they've done a good job. And then War Scroll previews, Endless Spells, first look at Warhammer Underworlds Online, and then Age of Darkness Primarchs at War. This is an interesting article, shows a few Primarchs and some of the options for their kind of bodyguards, and then there's a little preview of what's up for pre-order yesterday. That was on the 26th, with Lord Borak, the despoiler for Blood Bowl. And then yesterday there was Slaanesh designer insights. This is pretty cool. It says enticement and excess, but if you notice there, they've got graceful, sleek, seduction, obsession, debauchery, pleasure palace, hedonism, cabaret, vanity, baroque, indulgence, masquerade, obsession, abstention, and high fashion, opulence, decadence, finery. But you'll notice that there's no boobs on there, so unfortunately, yeah, there you go. They used to have it and now they don't. But if you look at the models compared to, they're not clad in armour like the demons of Khorne and Nurgle. They are more finely dressed. You look at the Shalaxi, has such ornate hair, and they do look like they're wearing, if you look at these, their clothing, like these kind of like tight things. It says here, jewellery and accessories, symbols are reflected on them, and so on. Okay, so that was all the news and the previews from the Warhammer community website. Let's jump on over to Forge World. Firstly, we'll just have a look at this Warhound Titan, and then we'll go to new, and we'll go to pre-orders. And there is only one pre-order, which is Lord Borak, the Despoiler. The two new weapons for the Adeptus Titanicus Warlord Titan, they're out of stock now, and the Warlord Titan itself, you can still go and get a separate Warlord Titan from somewhere, but yeah, interesting to see how popular these extra weapons are. But let's have a look at Lord Borak. He looks alright. He's not holding anything. He's got his thumb up as well, which is a nice little attention to detail. It says here, he's one of Blood Bowl's most popular star players. He's an excellent all-round on the pitch, strength to rival big guys and agility, and giving him a thumbs up to adoring fans. Anyway, he will cost you £18. Obviously, he's a resin miniature, you can see there. And if you've been after him for a while, then now's your chance to grab him. That's the only pre-order for Forge World. We just have a look at the Chaos Warlord Scout Titan. It's £290. Now, I remember getting my Warhound Titan back in the day, but we're talking 2004, I think I got mine, or maybe 2003. I got mine for £250, so it's £40, and that was with two weapons. So now it's £40 more, and the weapons are £40 each. So you're looking at £370. So it's a £120 increase in 15 years or so. So a little bit less than £10 extra a year. Anyway, it says here that the rules for him can be found in Horus Heresy Book 5 and the Horus Heresy Mechanicum, and also for 40k Index Forces of Chaos. It says here 130 components. It doesn't actually say anything about the instruction guide, it just says Guide to Working with Resin Miniatures and Certificate of Ownership. And it doesn't show a picture of it anywhere. This is a picture of these are the old pictures of the Warhound Titan. So although they've brought him back, they haven't actually, coloured him differently, or shown pictures of the sort of red one that's on their front page, which is a bit of a shame. They could have gone a bit further in effort for that, to promote it, to sell more, but same old pictures. So that's it for Forge World. Let's jump on over to Games Workshop, where we'll have a look at all these new Slaanesh models. I won't be getting any of them. I don't play Slaanesh. I don't have a single Slaanesh model, so I'm not hugely interested in collecting them. But needless to say, I do think they are interesting models, and I think they're very creative. Right here, you can get all of them for pre-order. You get all the models up for £237.50, which is a huge amount of money for 3 Fiends, the Mask, the Heart Player, the Epitome, the Epitome, the Character, the Scenery Kit, and the main Keeper of Secrets, which is a huge amount of money. So there you go. You've got their Shalaxi Hellbane and the Keeper of Secrets. They're the same model, but for picture purposes, as you can see, because of that long spear, that soul piercer, they've made Shalaxi a bit smaller, if you notice that. But Shalaxi there, it shows you as the Keeper of Secrets, and this differs from the Keeper of Secrets in that it's got this awesome looking cloak, hooves and pincers, snapping claws, and this little shield, and this soul piercer. Would have been nice to have it in a more sort of dynamic pose than that, but still, it's quite intimidating. I could see. Now the real question is it just 2 sprues? I think it is just 2 sprues. So let's see. It says 51 plastic components. To me, just looking at it, that looks like 50 on 2 sprues. Just a quick tot up of the number of parts. It looks like it's 2 sprues for the £85. So this may now well be the most expensive set of 2 sprues that they do. You're looking at £42.50 each plastic sprue, which is a horrific amount of money if you look at it that way. Anyway, that's Shalaxi Hellbane. You've got the Keeper of Secrets here, 85. I'm not a huge fan at all of the model. Its paint job is fantastic, but I just don't, for me, it just doesn't cover Slaanesh as much as I kind of hoped it would. It's got the claws right, and it's got the kind of purple, clothing right, and that kind of hedonistic kind of look to it, but to me that just doesn't show kind of lust as much as I was kind of hoping. But there we go, each to their own. So there's the Keeper of Secrets, very tall model. I mean, if you put that next to the Great Unclean One and a Bloodthirster and the old Zinch demon, then yeah, definitely unique enough to go, to stand out amongst the rest of them. Then you've got the True Child of Slaanesh collection, which has got the limited edition codex, the cards, and the spells. Then you've got Start Collecting Head Knights of Slaanesh, so you've got Start Collecting set and the codex for £80. Then you've got Head Knights of Slaanesh Essentials for £55, and then the limited edition book, the codex, is £50 here. It says there's only 900 copies. Unfortunately, again, it doesn't show you how many pages, which they're on a roll here by not explaining how many pages, but it does say there's 18 unit war scrolls and 3 endless spells. So this is for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. You'll find the 40k rules most probably in the model boxes themselves. I would have thought that you'd find them in the boxes themselves. I don't think they're getting their own separate codex. Normally these Chaos factions don't, like Khorne didn't and Nurgle didn't. You still can find a lot of their rules for like the Fiends and things in the Chaos Demons codex, which came out I think last year or a little bit before. Start of last year, I think. Then you've got the Contorted Epitome, £30 here. Looks like it is it 2 sprues? I think it is just 2 sprues there. So that's that. It says downloads. You can download the free wall scroll, but obviously you can't download the Warhammer 40,000 rules. So I think this is a new model, so you'll be getting those rules at some point. I wonder how you're going to be getting those later on. Maybe they'll do another Chaos Demons codex, but there we go. Then you've got this name character, this Slaanesh, the Vengeful Allegiance, £30. I think that's a huge amount of money. I really do. Yes, he's a named character, but he comes in this box. It's difficult to sort of see just how tall he is. I think he is really, really quite tall. If you look at him compared to other models, I mean, compared to the Fiends there on the right, he is very, very tall. But £30, I don't know. Maybe 25 or 22, but he is what he is, and if you think he's worth it, then go for it. Then you've got the Fiends. I think these were in the Wrath and Rapture box set. £30 isn't too bad for 3 of them. They come in this lovely box. Obviously, you can use them in Age of Sigmar and Warhammer 40k. They're pretty decent. If you need more Fiends as well, you can get them separately now. Then you've got Head Knights of Slaanesh, the Battle Tome. So £25 as always. It doesn't say how many pages it is, but you can then use them in your Age of Sigmar as a full-blown army. The Infernal Enrapturous, this very strange Maestros of Discordance. She can shred foes at range with sonic blasts. Again, you can use them in Warhammer 40k, but the rules aren't there. They'll probably come out at some point. But £25, probably. I'd lean more towards £25 than £22, but still quite expensive, these Slaanesh models. Then the Thane of Slaanesh, which is this scenery piece. I really like this. I really like the symbol on there, but I'm not too sure about this head appearing out of this mirror thing. I love the base. The base is incredible. All this gold and things, all these coins, fantastic. But I'm just not a huge fan of this head coming out of it. Looks really quite strange. It says here, available at no match play points to all Slaanesh armies. Apparently it's a key tactical linchpin in your army. They can empower themselves. 10 plastic components. It looks like the darker, cheaper, made in China plastic as well, as all of their sort of scenery kits are. But that's £22.50. That's why it's quite cheap compared to other normal sort of plastic kits. Then you got the endless spells. I think these could well be China made as well because of the darker plastic. I've never had any of the endless spells from Age of Sigmar, so if I'm wrong about that, please do put it in the comments. These look interesting. I like these sort of spiked weapon wheel things, and also this hand holding a mirror. That's pretty cool. I mean, if it was just a mirror, that'd be quite strange, but because it's this kind of clawed hand and then this head thing with the tongue with the hooks on it as well, all 3 of these endless spells look pretty awesome. Then you got the Battle Tome, the e-publication. You save a penny, it's $19.99. You got the Shadowbreaker book in hardback, which looks like a Death Watch book. That is by Steve Parker. And then you've got the Mask, which is another sort of individual character. This is alright for £15 though. This is fine. This is a herald that dances about. Heralds are usually fine for £15. That's usually the right amount, in my opinion, for these kind of like separate miniature HQ choices. Then you've got the War Scroll cards, the Head Knights of Slaanesh, £10. And then you've got, it says Book 2, Warp Galaxies, and Book 2, Realm Quest, all in paperback. So these are Warhammer Adventures. So these are the books, I want to say, aimed at kids. It's really quite strange that they're aiming these books at kids, but yet, you've got this horrible looking gene stealer alien creature at the top. It's just the stuff of nightmares. Anyway, and then you've got a little preview of the White Dwarf there, $5.99 again. When I receive mine next week, I'll be doing a first look video of that, specifically focusing on the new Ynnari Inead rules for 40k. I've yet to do a video covering the Assassins, the 8th edition rules for them. I'm still trying to find the plastic models from the Execution Force, but once I find them, then I will crack on with 4 Assassin reviews. Hopefully I'll get them done as soon as possible. So that's it for all of the news and the pre-orders this week. What do you guys think of all the Slaanesh models that they've put up for pre-order? Which is your favourite, and which ones are you going to get? I mean, they've released a lot in just this one day. The Codex, the Epitome, that named character, the Fiends, the Infernal Enrapturous, the Spells, the Thane, the Mask, and the Keeper of Secrets. They've just thrown everything at you. They could have done a phased release. It'd be interesting to see if they've got anything next week, or whether it's just going to be a bit of a breather for everyone. Anyway, put all your comments and opinions down below as always. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.